The Train to the Past, Part 7. Written and read for you by Emily Z. Prologue. William.
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. Please let Laura's memories come back. Very soon. Like tomorrow. Please.
William had been repeating that same plea to the same star every night. So far, no luck. Maybe the star was broken, or maybe it had to take care of every other kid's wish, or maybe it ignored his wish because he didn't count as a kid anymore. He sighed and rolled onto his side. Max and his family had brought 3 sleeping bags and were sleeping in those. William, the 2 Lars, and his grandfather had gone back into the train to search for things that could still be slept on. They'd found a mostly okay mattress, quite a lot of pillows, and a few tattered blankets and sheets. Not a promising set, but it was better than no sleep, which was exactly what William had been doing, not sleeping. How could he sleep when the entire world had been turned upside down? When Laura had lost her memories because of him? When he was planning to rebuild the train tomorrow? He rolled over again and reached his hand out to feel the damp grass. The blades of green tickled his fingers, leaving tiny trails of water when he brushed his hand across the field, startling several fireflies. They twinkled and sparkled in the midnight sky like tiny lanterns being lit and tossed in slow motion up to the moon. The sky smelled of fresh leaves and forest with a hint of the afternoon's rain. He sat up slowly, being careful not to wake anyone else, and looked round the hill. More fireflies were waking up, and the moon glowed brightly in the blue-purple-black sky. Stars blinked down at him, and the longer he stared, the more he could see. It felt good to relax and breathe in the cool, crisp, after-rain air. He loved this time of summer.
Yet I can see a world no one else can see.
Wherever he looked, he could see possible places the trains to the past could go. Blueprints and plans spread out in front of him, waiting for him to sort. His world was never fully peaceful, even in a perfect setting like this.
But what if I just relax and think about all this tomorrow?
His grandfather always said. He cleared his thoughts, shoving the designs and ideas out of his head, leaving only the beautiful summer night to stare at. He sighed happily and walked downhill a few steps until he was further away from the group of people, and collapsed onto his back, staring into the darkness and the moon and the stars and the fireflies. Water seeped through his t-shirt and shorts, but he didn't mind. Nothing could ruin this perfect moment. Until he turned his head and caught a glimpse of the train. It was hard not to cry when he looked at the train wreck. The beautiful, perfect train that had been his home was now a pile of rubble.
Because Jack is still out there. He needs to be stopped, and I might be the only person who can do it.
The Train to the Past.
So,
William says, grinning goofily.
ready for today?
Not even remotely, I admit, sliding off the mattress me and Laura were sharing for the night. I yawn and slide slowly into splits, grinning when William yelps. What did you expect? I ask. I'm a dancer. I need to stretch.
Yeah,
He protests.
but I thought you meant like jumping jacks or something, not this.
He jumps back again as I swap legs, pulling my nose down towards my knee, then bending backwards and arching as far as my back will allow.
At least you remember something about your past.
William points out a little too cheerfully as he tries to imitate my move. He gets about halfway before he falls over onto the grass. I wince at the fall, but also at his bent legs, non-pointed toes, non-arched back, and awkward elbows. Definitely qualifies to be cringeworthy for a dancer.
Why are you making that face at me?
He asks, sitting up straighter. Sorry, but it's the kind of pain a non-dancer wouldn't understand. I tell him matter-of-factly. Does it hurt a lot? William half smiles and half winces.
It's the kind of pain a trained dancer wouldn't understand.
I don't know if he's copying my tone of voice and sentence structure on purpose, but a smile crawls onto my face nonetheless.
Okay.
William announces that afternoon, smiling and teasing forgotten. We're standing near the direction of the train, at the base of a small hill. The grass is still a little damp, and I avoid a patch of mud as I make my way over to see other people.
Me and Laura are going to melt the pendants and plan places to insert them on the trains of the past.
He says, gesturing to me. I step closer to him.
Grandpa and the other Laura,
He continues,
go get the materials we need. Carry as much as you can. Take this.
He tosses a remote control-like thing to his grandfather and gives him a meaningful look. Laura gives a playful salute and they head off into the forest.
Max and, Mr. and Mrs. Max's parents.
I snort and try to cover it with a cough.
Go clear that area and label the grass somehow based on this.
He hands him the blueprint. I guess William trusts them a lot. Laura and the conductor walk back a few minutes later with a giant pile of stuff floating between them. But the things aren't bobbing up and down like in the movies. They're stable, as if the pile is sliding across the ice. Something sparks in my brain, like an itch. Something twitching. Something I can't place a finger on. Where did I see stuff floating before? Dear Diary, it feels weird writing on the dried leaf, but William can't spare any blueprint papers. We have been here almost a week, and my family is camped out in the car at night. I miss my bed, and my pillow, and Jewel, my cat. The train is almost finished, and wow, sometimes when I stand back to watch, like now, it's like watching a video played in time-lapse. I really hope my memories come back after this, because if something had to disappear from this world, couldn't it be mosquitoes or something? I drop my pencil to rub my hand against my forehead. It doesn't hurt, it just itches. A lot, and the itching is coming from inside. The itching intensifies until it becomes a headache, then a migraine, then so violent I close my eyes and crouch down. William bends down next to me, and so does my mom, practically shoving William out of the way in the process.
So, you okay?
William asks. Are you okay, dear? My mom repeats.
Isn't that what I just said?
William mutters under his breath as I nod, then change the nod into a headshake, then nod again. It's the most horrible feeling ever. Like when you're car sick, but so much worse. Like when you feel like you need to throw up, but your body doesn't need to. The headache is getting worse now, like a group of untalented musicians all banging cymbals and drums offbeat. The clang in my head rises to a crescendo, and the next thing I know, I can practically see swirls of color and flashes of images in my mind as the world fades away.
Laura. 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 Laura.
I jolt awake the sting on my left cheek and find William sheepishly looking anywhere except my face. My brain puts two and two together and... Did you slap me? His face turns even redder.
Yeah, you wouldn't wake up.
It takes my mind a moment to process this news. I don't know if I want to thank you or slap you back.
Yeah, I think I'll take option 1, thanks. How do you feel?
He asks instead. And I gasp. It's like when you're finishing a super hard puzzle and you press the last piece into place and see the final, complete image. I remember her. I resist the urge to hug William, or to jump up and start dancing. Actually, dancing would be a pretty bad idea considering how dizzy I still feel. That sparks a very interesting question. Where's Jack? His name triggers another headache and I groan as I bend down again.
Not again,
William exclaims, once again crouching down beside me.
Maybe I should slap you again? Like, maybe on your right cheek this time?
I swat his hand away. No, I'm fine, I blink at William, then at Laura. Is something wrong with my head, or... were we ever... did we ever go to, a place called... Lake of Moons? No, wait. Lake of Blue Moons. That's almost it,
Blue Moon's Lake.
William whispers.
How do you even know that? No one does except me and Grandpa. And your parents?
The conductor informs him, looking a little misty-eyed.
And Jack.
Did I get one of Jack's memories? I ask, shivering. I can't help it. It feels so creepy having the memories of a supervillain. He is lonely. He is constantly being bullied by others and unfairly outshone by his twin brother. So he runs. Away. Far away. So far away no one can find him. His parents won't care. Neither will his brother. Is that my voice? He is tired. His limbs are aching. He feels as if he's about to fall apart, physically and mentally. It is completely coincidental, though he happens to find the beautiful, gleaming, sparkling lake before his eyes. Beautiful isn't a strong enough word. Neither is gorgeous or magnificent. No words are strong enough to describe this kind of beauty. The lake is glittering with shades of blues and purples and silvers, stretching around in a massive circle surrounded by sweeping willow-like trees reaching high into the sky, their leaves and branches swishing in the wind. A small waterfall trickles into the lake. Upon closer inspection, the trees have star-shaped flowers instead of leaves. This place has little sunlight, like it's set in an eternal sunset. There are no creatures, no humans, just him and the water and the trees. Perfect, amazing, beautiful. It is like nature grabbed the most amazing scenery and splashed it with blue and purple and violet, and sprinkled it with glitter. He is mesmerized by the scene, sinking to his knees in the soft blue-green grass. This place is a haven of wonder no one knows about. It is his, something he doesn't have to share. He is tired of sharing. Not just his things, but his attention, his glory, his pride, his praise, the things he deserves. It is hard to trust. Trusting someone is like giving them half of you. If they betray you, that half is gone. Which is why he doesn't. Never completely. Never. Unlike his foolish brother, believing in everyone he meets. He comes to that lake every day now. Every time he feels abandoned. Every time he is betrayed and let down. Every time he needs to be alone. The loneliness is sad, but it also feels good. Every time he comes here, his head clears and his heart calms, and he decides to stay. Until his parents and his grandfather brought William to the lake. Then his peaceful solitude was torn apart by a loud, annoying brother. Thank goodness William didn't like the lake. He said it was creepy, too calm, too quiet. Such an idiot. Jack scoffs every time William shivers and wants to head back. This lake will be his home. His second home. Because when everything is lost, he can come to this lake. He can and will. Always. A place to hide from his brother. A place where no one can find him. I don't realize I'm talking until the words are already spilling out of my mouth and everyone is staring at me.
Jack is hiding at Blue Moon's Lake,
William says slowly as if he's in a trance.
I don't believe it.
We need to go there, I decide, standing up.
Absolutely not.
The conductor says, grabbing my wrist.
We have other important matters to talk about.
How is this any less important than whatever you're talking about? I argue. We could keep going like this all day. He sighs and starts to walk away.
William,
the conductor says the following day. He sure sounds serious.
Come with me for a second.
They walk off in the direction of the forest, and it's seriously hard not to follow them. The conductor can be very mysterious, and usually his surprises are ginormous. I very vaguely remember the conductor saying to William, Child William, that he would run the train someday. On my second time on the train, I think. I thought that it was a family thing, like how an heirloom is handed down through generations. The grandmother gives it to the mother gives it to her daughter, and it keeps going. I'd never known William had a brother until it was too late. If he'd trusted me enough to tell me, maybe we could have stopped Jack before. I swallowed the lump in my throat. This new train is amazing, with even more features than the last one, but it'll never be the train, the one I boarded on my first day of my new life, the stepping stone I needed, the one thing in my life that I was missing. I hope the sacrifice was for a good cause. I hope this time we made the right choice, rebuilding the train. I hope we can stop Jack without having to kill anyone. I wish we knew more about him. I wish I knew more about him. I wish everything could be magically sorted out in one night. I wish my life could go back to normal. But do you really? A tiny voice asks. You felt how I was not remembering anything about the train, or William, or your adventures, and you can travel through time, basically. Would you really give all that up just to be a normal girl? Maybe Jack did this to teach me a lesson instead of being evil. Maybe he knew, somehow, that I'd always wished to be normal. Maybe he wanted to let me see how it felt to be normal. I'd never even known that the train and William and Laura and the conductor played such huge roles in my life. I'd never known how much they'd meant to me until a big hole was ripped open inside of me, and I'd lost all memory of them. And I was mad at them before. I hadn't known the value of the moment until it became a memory. And then that memory was taken away from me too. No, I decide. I don't want to forget. I don't want to give up this new, amazing reality. I don't want to be ordinary. I am normal, just in a different way. Everyone is. And I will continue this adventure. Forever and ever. Epilogue. Past Laura. I can't believe you're the conductor now. Laura, older, non-broken Laura, squealed as she and the smaller, broken Laura watched William take the first step onto the new train to the past. "What's with all the fancy clothes?" older Laura teased, but younger Laura could see a hint of pink brightening her cheeks. "Probably just excitement," she decided. "Probably nothing else. At least she has a boyfriend. A friend who's a boy," she amended. Laura sometimes wished she could have a boy be nice to her. She wished she could have a boy as a friend. Or just a friend would be nice, no matter the gender. Most of the people she'd met ignored her like she was air or teased her, and Max full-on hated her. The only people who had come even close to being friends with her were older Laura and William, and they didn't really count since A, they were like 3 or 4 years older than her, and B, they weren't really friends with her. They acted friendly, but there was a difference. Mostly they acted as though she was their little sister. "Like, this entire train is yours to take care of," Laura continued, still bouncing on her toes. Literally. She was a ballet dancer, so it came easy to her. "Will it be hard?" younger Laura whispered, expecting to be ignored. Instead, William turned to her.
"Probably,"
he replied.
"but that's why I'll have all of you."
He carefully spoke only to the former conductor, older Laura and younger Laura, not including Max and his parents in the invitation.
"I mean,"
He turned back to older Laura.
"if you're willing to stay."
He blushed and added,
"I mean all of you, except you three."
he said, gesturing to Max and Laura's parents.
"What I mean is, if you guys and girls want to stay, but especially you,"
He turned to Laura again.
"like all of you, you know what, I think I'll stop talking now. Or forever. Yes, that sounds like a good plan."
"Before you stop talking forever," younger Laura said. She stood on her toes to reach William's ear level and whispered, "Why are you being so mean to Max and his family?" She'd heard of the metaphor, a shadow across his face, but the way William tensed at the question, the way he gritted his teeth slightly, and the way the shadow of a tree fell across his face as he stepped back perfectly portrayed the expression.
Because they don't belong with us. Laura and I have been working together since the beginning. You helped us a lot, and so did Grandpa. But they're doing nothing. They're just sitting around pretending to help. They don't even know who Jack is."
"But is that the only reason?" William ran his finger through his disheveled hair.
"Of course not. There are so many other reasons. I should get back to the train."
He walked down the hill, stiff and formal, shoulders back, chin up, looking perfectly like he knew what he was doing and was doing it right. Laura could suddenly see the conductor in William. Wait, she could suddenly see the former conductor in Conductor William. Not just the identical uniform, not just the posture, lots of things, much deeper things. Conductor William, she thought, that's going to be so weird. But it also has a nice ring to it, like it was meant to be that way. Conductor William.
"Laura! Both Lauras, come on!"
William yelled up the hill.
"First test run."
Older Laura grinned at younger Laura, and they both took off running down the hill, grass tickling their ankles, the sun shining brightly down from the sky.
"Well, we should get going,"
Max's father said, hefting all their bags into the trunk of the white van.
"Max!"
He called as Max's mother joined them.
"Laura?"
He asked quietly. Older Laura sucked in a deep breath and stole a look at William. He nodded, and she took another deep breath before opening her mouth. "Mom, Dad, Max, I love you. I always will, and I love my life with you, but—" Another deep breath. "I want to stay with William, and his grandfather, and Laura, and all the other timelines of me. I love this new life, and I felt how I was without it. It's like I found the missing piece of me I didn't know existed until it was found. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll still sleep in our house and eat dinner with you and stuff, but just this once, can I stay for a few days to help William?" William stepped forward.
"And as tempting as it is, I'll refrain from removing your memories."
"I'm almost 15, Laura reminded her parents, which is basically 16. And 16 is practically 17, and 17 is almost 18, and 18 is only a little bit from 19, and then I'm an adult." "Oh, honey, it sounds so fast when you say it that way." Her mom looked away, but younger Laura could see how fast she was blinking. "I'll visit you. Very often. In fact, every day," older Laura promised, hugging her mom. Her dad joined in, pulling Max with him.
"And you'll be able to visit her as well,"
the former conductor put in.
"William and I have also been talking about this matter, and we decided—"
Laura held her breath as William's grandfather held up a midnight blue box lined with velvet. He carefully removed 3 necklaces of glistening rose pendants, identical to Laura's, but a shade lighter. Laura's mother gasped as he draped it around her neck, William doing the same to her father. He handed them the box containing the last rose necklace.
Give this to Max on his 9th birthday,
he instructed. But that's 10,000,000,000 years away, Max groaned. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. Bye, little brother. See you soon, and no, Max, your birthday is only 3 months away. I love you, Mom, Laura whispered into her mother's arms, hugging her once more. No dramatic parting speech? Max asked, elbowing her playfully. Didn't I just make one? Laura protested, elbowing him back. As older Laura hopped into the train, her face lit up with the biggest smile younger Laura had ever seen on a person, and held up her hand for a high five. She then frowned and stepped back. Am I even allowed to touch you anymore, Conductor William?
Sure. I mean, like, if you... Wow, I'm really bad at this, aren't I?
He turned to his grandfather with a pleading look.
Laura, if you please,
the former conductor said, handing her a golden rope. William, younger Laura, and his grandfather joined in. Laura waved at her parents, pulled the rope down, and as the train whistle blasted through their ears, and the head of the train started lifting into the air, Laura yelled, All aboard! Author's note. We all know how it feels when you're reading the last chapter of the last book in the last series. That sinking feeling of knowing the characters' adventures are over, and you've read the whole thing with nothing else to be surprised with. Get what I'm talking about? Well, I've got one more surprise waiting for you. Read till the end of this message. Typical books have an entire list of names, but I'm not going to bore you with those, so I'll just give a few. One of the names that comes right to mind when I so much as think of the title is my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Mio. Thank you for sparking this entire series in the first place, for placing the idea in my mind for quick writes. Thank you for reading and reviewing everything I've written, for giving me a reason to keep writing the series and being patient when I take way too long writing the next one. Thank you to my sister Claire for always being the first person to read/listen to the Trains to the Past before anyone else, and catching small mistakes I always fail to notice. And one more message of thanks before we get to the surprise. Thank you, Nicholas and Sama, my fellow author friends. Thanks for giving amazing feedback on my characters, plot twists, and crazy ideas. Thanks for being an author who I can reach out to. Good luck on your own books. And here's the surprise. This part of their journey is over, but their adventure is not. Jack needs to be stopped. The train needs to run again. William is now the new conductor. Our heroes are heading to Blue Moon's Lake, and Laura has promised that her adventure will continue. Read about their next adventure in The Trains to the Past, Series Number 2, All Aboard. The end. Thank you for listening. I hope you have enjoyed The Trains to the Past, Part 7. Links to the rest of the story are in the description section below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with family and friends. Series 2, Part 1, coming soon.